Hello. All right. So I'm not sure if anybody is here while everybody is hopefully filing in. I don't even, sorry about the delay. I'm very, very new at this. Time to face the music, young gun. Oh. Well, hello, Long Rider. How are you? I was hoping you would show up. You still here? Sorry about the slight delay. I was still trying to figure this thing out. I'm over here. Hey, is my audio good? This little webcam on the new Apple is not a bad webcam. I mean, it's not perfect. I can see like the low light issues, but it's much better than a normal webcam was. Perfecto. Cool. So there's a slight delay going. So what have you been up to? Have you been shooting anything today, Long Rider? I'm guessing Saturdays are your day off. Or are you retired? It's be long delays. I realize you always have pretty good audio. Appreciate it. Always hope to have pretty good audio. That's what I shoot for with this video is this is pretty good. That's what I always go for. Let people, hopefully other people will join us. If not, it'll just be me and you. We can have a conversation. We can go over the camera news together. Oh, doggy is injured. Oh man, hate to hear that. Sorry about that. I hope he gets feeling better or she gets feeling better soon. Rainy days are always the worst. It's always like gray here during the winter, and it's just like, why am I in this climate? I think it's probably worse in New York, to be honest. I'm testing my own delay, so I'm going on YouTube. See how long the things takes. Testing my own delay, so I'm going on YouTube. Pretty good. Alrighty. So should I keep waiting for more people to come, or do you want me and you just to go over the news, Long Rider? It'd be like a personal news session. Hey, I think we got one more person. Okay. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. So he's saying that I don't know if you're in the live chat. If you're not in the live chat, I think there's like one extra person here. Can wait. Okay. So I'm gonna wait a minute to see if anybody else comes. This is like the first time going live. Well, I went live like a long time ago with some different camera announcements, but like I basically stopped doing that because the last time I did it was like about 7 or 8 months ago. They had one of the new like MacBooks or iPhone events. I tried to live stream it, and I got a copyright warning. And essentially, if you get 3 strikes, your channel shut down. I'm like, well, I'm not big enough to fight that, so just no more of those. One of these days, Long Rider, I'm going to have to get you in here live. Would you ever do that? I use Final Cut for my video editing. That's why I use an Apple primarily. I um I actually used Premiere Pro for a while. We could make that happen sometime. Not this time because I don't know how to bring anybody in, but next time we should bring you in, and if especially if we get enough people that actually care to watch. I mean, obviously it's the first time, so I can see not necessarily a lot of people wanting to watch, but it'd be fun to get you and John in here because he's like so pro Canon and you're pro Sony. Be like a battle, like a live battle. I have such delay waiting for everything. I feel like there's this long time for me just to sit here. Oh, there's a third. There's another person. Hello, other person who just left again. Okay, well, I keep getting one person in here and they just drop out. They're just like, nah. That'd be cool. I don't know why he didn't come. Maybe he's like, I don't know if this guy's catfishing me. I bet he doesn't really look like an eagle. It's funny. Yeah, John is a cool dude. He seems genuine, like a genuine person. Very pro canon, but I can respect it. Um, what was I about to say to you? Well, on the news, I actually have some stuff to talk about and questions to ask you. I figure you might know better than me. I was talking about camera battles, and the camera battles have I think I lost John. I lost Long Rider. It's the only guy who wanted to watch me. He's like, even I'm bored with this. Okay, well, if nobody is coming in here, what I'll do is I'll just go over the news live and then I'll edit this part out. Oh, there it is. Yeah. No, I agree. It's fun, but it's not necessarily. Well, I get so much hate on camera battles. Everybody's like, never talk about a camera that you haven't used. I'm like, I wouldn't have a channel if I didn't talk about cameras I haven't used. It's the baby in the background. I'm not sure if you can hear that. I have people. Yeah. I mean, people in general, I can kind of understand it. It's just, I don't know. People are really passionate about what they're passionate about. So I can kind of get that. But at the same time, it's kind of like, it's a little bit overboard. But I mean, if people weren't passionate, I guess I wouldn't have a channel either. So there's that. It literally might just be me and you, Long Rider. So I might just go over the news a little bit. We can conversate back and forth as I do it, and then I'll probably like just edit out the beginning part because it'll just be me talking to a camera. Well, I guess it's always me talking to a camera. I guarantee your images are better than mine, Long Rider. You probably have a lot more. Well, you're just you probably have. I know you have more experience. You've kind of I guess how long have you said you've been a photographer again? You've been one for a while, if I can remember correctly. I um I actually got into photography really not too long ago. Like I was actually planning on doing a travel channel. That was kind of going to be my main thing. And so I'm like, well, in order to learn, how to like present myself better on camera and, actually have, nice pretty images and, video, then I need to learn how to do camera stuff. And that's kind of how I started. And then when everything shut down, I was like, well, I have all this experience, or relatively speaking, I have a lot of experience with camera stuff, and the world will open back up soon, and I'll go travel. But right now, I'll be talking about cameras, and then the world ever opened back up. Wow, man, that is a lot of time. A lot of time shooting. That's really cool. So, do you do you actually like to edit more too, or are you big on just are you big on the photography side and not big on the editing side, or you like both? Yeah, man, I bet you're. I, I mean, I would assume. I honestly haven't seen much of your work. I went on your YouTube channel. I think you have like one video up. If you have like an Instagram thing, like right under here, I would love to see some of your work. Um, but yeah, I would assume that with 2 or 3 hours a day, you're out there making it happen. Oh wow, JPEG. You don't shoot RAW. Jared Poland would be Gerald Poland would be very disappointed. But if you're shooting 2 or 3 hours a day, I guess the space you would need JPEG. All right. I am going to go ahead and just go over some of this news, and then I'll cut out the beginning of this thing. God, that's a lot of images, man. What do you like? Who you trying to be, Long Rider? Are you going out and are you like gonna be like a National Geographic photographer? Is that like your goal? Be out in the Serengeti? I think it's cool that you love it so much that you're willing to go out there every day for 400 to 800 pictures. I mean, that's admirable and awesome. Not that I don't enjoy it, I definitely do, but I definitely, I just, I don't, I don't get to do that as often as you. I think that's incredible. National Geographic, Geo Jeff. Yeah. So somebody said. So I don't even. So Jeff is your like not Long Rider name. That's your actual name. I'm sure you don't go by Long Rider. I don't think I think I saw somebody say happy birthday, Jeff, to you. And I thought, oh, his name's Jeff. I think that was the first time. That'd be a kind of a cool show, Nat Geo, Jeff. I don't really think you have to be young for National Geographic. Um, I'm going to go ahead, and other people may or may not file in, but I'm going to talk about a little bit of the news if I can figure this out. And I just have like two things to go over. We can kind of conversate back and forth about it. I'm going to kind of like do a little bit of an intro. Oh wow, that's cool. How old is your son? I knew you said you had some family that were living down in Nashville, like myself, or somewhere in this area. Oh, we got somebody else in here. Anybody else? Well, and they're gone. We get people that are like watching for just a second and they're like, nah, we're good. Whoops, clicked on this video by accident. I thought it was a Camera Wars. Who's this guy? Was he just on live? Okay. Wow. Man, YouTube's been around for a minute, hadn't it? That's crazy. Moving to Tennessee in 2 months to be near her daughter, who's been there for 3 years. Well, I would love to go and live by a beach, like Florida or I don't know, Hawaii if I had the money. That'd be awesome. But Tennessee's nice overall. A lot of people are moving here, so that's a pretty it's a pretty cool thing that I guess everybody loves your area so much they're willing to move to it. But I guess I've been here all my life, so it's kind of like, yeah, I'm done. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and do some of the camera news if you're cool with that, and we can talk about it as we go. And I'm going to kind of just do it like an intro, and then that way I can kind of like cut everything off before here. Hey everyone, welcome to Moving Matt. We do all things cameras with a dash of vlogs and a little bit of travel. And today is like my first day ever going live. So I'm going to go live here, do a couple camera news stories live. If some of you guys come in, that's great. If nobody comes in, then that's great too. I actually have one person, Long Rider, who's already here. But I'm just going to go over a couple stories here today. There wasn't really much camera news, so I didn't want to do like a official video. But let's get into it. So the first story I have here, if I can get everything to work. I have. So I was trying to get Canon Rumors up here, but Canon Rumors is just not working. So I think they're down today. But one of the big stories that I have is right here. So it says Sony develops world's first stacked CMOS image sensor technology with 2-layer transistor pixel. So this is very, very interesting. It says with 2-layer transistor pixel, widens dynamic range and reduces noise by approximately doubling saturation level signal levels. So have you heard about this? So Long Rider is on here too. I might wait for him to jump in here. Have you heard about this story here, Long Rider? I think it is kind of funny that I think it was back in 2016. Sony came out, did a press statement saying they came out with their first stacked CMOS sensor. And, oh, he's saying he has heard about this story. They came out with their first CMOS stacked sensor, and everybody was like super blown away, impressed by that. About 2 years later, it shows up in their cameras, the A9 and others. And now this year is the first year that at least Canon officially has their own stacked sensor developed by them. And supposedly Nikon does, but there's some questions on whether they actually got that from Sony or not. But now they're getting stacked sensors, and now Sony's like, okay, time for my 2-layered transistor pixel stack sensor. I think that's pretty funny. So Long Rider, I was going to ask, is this kind of, I mean, it almost sounds kind of similar to the Canon's dual gain sensor to a certain degree. I'm not saying it's the same function, but is it kind of doing similar things? Because I know the way Canon's system works is it's capturing the uh, the shadows, and it's capturing the highlights. It's kind of making the best of both. It's not really computational videography, but it's something like it. Oh, what's up, man? We got somebody else here. Para's in the Philippines. How's the Philippines doing? Okay. Okay. So dual gain is using the processor more. This is actually letting the light hit the sensor in a different way. This is what I'm kind of hearing. Okay, so Long Rider here, I'm not sure if you're able to see this in the chat. He's saying the tech is very different or very relevant to what he's doing. He needs high shutter speeds, which raises ISO. There's no dual gain. A dual gain actually basically does something in the capturing process. So this sensor does something a little bit different. Paris in the Philippines says typhoon season, but I'm in Dubai working. Well, Dubai is not a bad place to be. It's, or at least from the pictures I've seen. I've never actually been to Dubai. It says this sensor tech reduces the need to increase gain ISO. Wow, that's super cool. Okay, so in Dubai, what are you doing in Dubai? In the Paras. Am I saying that right? Paras in the Philippines. What are you doing in Dubai? Like, what kind of work are you doing? Uh, so with this camera, it reduces the need for. So I was kind of curious about this. It says doubling. So the uh, I have the Sony A7S III, and I was kind of curious if would that mean that like a 24 megapixel sensor with this particular technology could get similar light to the 12 megapixel sensor, so you could have like a essentially a 6K camera but with the low light of the A7S III. Is that, am I kind of reading that right, or am I just oversimplifying things? Long Rider is my go-to trusty knowledge on all this stuff, so I'm waiting for him to go through everything. And Paris trying to use a camera here. Police all over. Wow. Man, so police get all over you for using a camera. That doesn't make any sense. It's like a tourist place. Okay, so Paris in is a manager for Borja something. I'm not sure what that is. I think that is a Caliph. Is that like is that big tall building that's there? He's basically a chief engineer under another title. Wow. Well, it sounds like you are living your best life there in Dubai. So have fun, man. So Longrider just said he thinks of this as way in similar light. You could cut your ISO in half. Okay. So is that still an accurate statement though? Like, could this be put into world tallest building? Okay, so I was right about that. I thought that's what it was. Oh man, that's crazy. I hear it like at the top, it like moves so much, like has the bend and everything. Uh, the if the light gathering is in fact 2 times as good. So essentially, yeah, having a 24 megapixel. So yeah, I guess that was what I was curious about because I feel like the Sony A7S III is great for now, and I think it's going to be. I mean, granted, the content isn't going to necessarily change on what you can create, um, but I think it but I think overall it is going to become somewhat under spec in the next 2 to 3 years as more and more cameras take the 8K mantle. I mean, you have right now, we have the R5, we have the A1, the Z9. I'm assuming the R1 will be another 8K camera. If the rumors are true, then the Sony A7R5 will also be an 8K camera, even though it's not going to be focused in that way. It'll probably be doing like a lot of pixel binning. Um, but that being said, there's going to be a lot of 8K cameras coming. And I feel like if you're going to have a dedicated, video camera, mirrorless or whatever you're going to call it, eventually it's going to need that 8K as well. And to have 8K, you need right about 45-ish megapixels. So I guess that's always been the wonder of, well, can you get that really high ISO and with that, what it's called the sensitive sensor with the A7S III, like can you get that sensitivity with a with 8K? Okay. So the job is a nightmare but you get paid a lot of money and don't pay a lot of taxes. Well, I guess there's pros and cons there. Especially if you go back to the Philippines where your money is probably like triple where it is, right? If you're getting paid. I know every time I go to Vietnam, it's pretty cool because my wife is from Vietnam and we haven't got to go in a while because of everything. And Vietnam's completely shut down. But when I go there, it's all crazy because my money goes like four times further than what it ever does before. Okay, so Longwriter is giving more information here about this sensor. He say it's not a linear relationship between resolution and gain. The A7S III is not 2 times as good as a 24 megapixel camera. Well, yeah, I guess you're right. I was just talking about supposedly the pixel sizes are bigger, allowing to get more light in, which I know it can kind of cause issues with larger noise, but it also is great in low light. So I guess I didn't know, like, for example, if they were smaller pixels, but with this technology, if you're getting double the light out of each pixel, would 24 equal to 12? I don't know. That's how I worked. That's how I was going in my brain with everything. Perez, I've built an 8-bedroom mansion in the Philippines on the beach for $100,000. An 8-bedroom mansion? Long Rider, I think you have your National Geographic answer there. You can be a National Geographic person. You just had to go to the Philippines, and with $100,000, you can buy yourself an 8-bedroom mansion. I know in New York, what will that get you? Like a 1-bedroom apartment? I don't know. It's crazy. Man, that's incredible. On the beach. You are living the life, man. We're going to have to, this world opens back up. Hopefully, this channel will, thank you all for helping this channel become something, but I hope this channel will keep growing and then, I can kind of maybe have some income coming in wherever I am at. That would be the dream here. 5 acres of land with a private beach. Jeez. That is insane. In New York, a studio apartment. This is so random. Okay, this is barely going to be camera news. If you're watching this after the fact, you're probably hating my video. It's all good. Uh, in New York, Longrider is saying that a studio is $300,000. So I guess it would be like a one bedroom. Well, studio is usually like a kitchenette. It's like almost like a one room with a restroom, if I'm not mistaken. Oh my goodness. So there you go, Long Rider. You just go to Philippines, man. That would be some great wildlife photography. You can make a channel called uh, Nat Geo Jeff, and you could make a new channel and or just Long Rider. That's cool enough, and you can go there and live it up in the Philippines with Para here. Um, okay, so kind of barely talking about this news here. Okay. Won your salary and built a house. Man. Well, congratulations, and I hope you enjoy many days in the Philippines having fun on the beach with your 5 acres. Are you married or are you bacheloring it up over there? I want to see if I can get Canon rumors to pull up. For some reason, they are down today. No. So Canon rumors is not pulling up. With Canon rumors, I was going to go over. I'll just bring up this background here just for why not. But with Canon rumors, I was going to go over the R5C. They're saying it's still going to be coming out in. It's still going to be coming out in the beginning or the first quarter of January, at least with the CR2. Oh, you saw the R3. Yeah. So Long Rider is a big Sony guy, but he appreciates all cameras. And he says that he saw the R3 in Adorama last week and said, "What a gorgeous camera." Are you getting jealous, Long Rider? Are you going to go for it? Are you going to switch? You going to Canon? uh, no, he's got that A9. Perez in the Philippines said, "What about Tony Tona shouting about Instagram banning street photography?" I saw the thumbnail to that video, but I did not get a chance to see the video. What is he talking about? Is that actually a thing? Are they actually banning street photography? That doesn't make any sense. Is it like a privacy issue that they don't want people taking pictures of people in the street and putting it on their private network? But I mean, if they're in a public location, you can take pictures of them. That's what at least the laws have always been. What is the reasoning that he's giving? Or is it even happening? Or is he just like, is he wanting a clickbait title? This is odd because I feel like there's always a little bit of a delay here. Privacy laws. Okay. But is the privacy laws changing or is that just Instagram's version of what's going on? Okay. So Long Rider's saying it's clickbait, not banned, but if you post an image and someone sees it, it's them, they can have it taken down. Well, I mean, that makes sense to a certain degree. I mean, I'm not saying that that's legitimate because technically, if you're in the public, I'm pretty sure you're kind of free game. But if you're I mean, if you're in public, you're free game as far as I'm concerned. But if you're a private company and you want to get ahead of things, and they say, "Hey, this is me, and I want this picture taken down," I don't know. It's not that big of a deal. That's not banning street photography. Not many people are gonna probably. I mean, even uh, Tony Northrup, he's I mean, what's his real reach as far as Instagram goes? That people are gonna really see themselves. You're gonna have to have somebody who sees himself and is also the type of person to go report it. So, I mean, how big is your real reach to be able to say, "Ooh"? I mean, you'd have to have like, I don't know, crazy millions for it to even affect, two or three of your pictures. For the average Joe, it's not going to affect it at all. And for Tony Northrup, it's probably not even going to affect anything. At least that's how I think of it. Paris in the Philippines, he's got 2 FX3s and 1 FX6. Wow. You probably need it. I have the Sony A7S III, so I'm assuming you do obviously more video work, or at least buy your cameras. What do you filming there? Do you have like a YouTube channel yourself, or do you just enjoy, creating videos? Like, what is your is it mostly a hobby for you? But I guess with being there, the reason I picked the A7S III is because I felt like I needed the LCD, because the screens on the back of the Sony's, not going to go into it. My hair on my arms literally raise up when I think about the screens on the back of the. Gotta have fans in the Philippines. That's that's true. I appreciate. I don't. Well, you're in the Philippines, but other than that, I don't know if I have anybody else in the Philippines. I get certain stuff. It blows my mind how YouTube works, because they'll be every so often I'm like, love it from Germany or something. I'm like, from Germany, like, you're seeing me on the other side of the world and you actually cared to comment. It's incredible. Uh, but okay, so back to the question on the thing. So my Sony A7S III, I felt like I needed that LCD because of just how terrible the screens are, in my opinion, especially compared to the other camera companies. Do you find it as an issue with like the Philippines being really bright and in that sunny tropical environment, or do you think that the fan was you needed that? Oh, okay, I'm stupid. He said you got to have fans in the Philippines, like fans, like to cool your. I was literally asking that question. He wasn't saying like fans, like subscriber fans. That's hilarious. That's egotistical on my side. That's literally funny. You got to have fans in the Philippines. That's what I was about to ask. That was the question. He's anticipating my questions. So you have to keep it cool. Okay. He says he's an parachute regime British Army regiment. Wow, reading. So he was formerly in the British Army. So he makes lifestyle videos for current people serving. They're too risky for YouTube. Wow. So what is your Pornhub account? Just kidding. I'm kidding. I think I'm kidding. Uh, that's terrible. Is this demonetized now? Oh, I don't even have monetization on here, so I'm just letting it rip. So he's saying that overheating, so no way can have a camera without internal cooling. Okay, that makes sense. So I'm gonna have a problem then with my A7S III going to Vietnam some. Hmm. That was one of the reasons I did not want to go with the R5, even though I had the Canon EOS R. I just the overheating to me just seemed just too much, especially like how it was in the very beginning. I think they've made it somewhat better, but then I was like, I'm going to be traveling. Vietnam is one of the reasons that I have the camera I do, or have a camera in general. I was going to go create travel videos, and I just could not have overheating. So that's why I'm like, I'm completely not going to go that route. Do we lose Long Rider? We might have lost The long rider. The one who is long and rides long time. No, he's still here. All right. Do y'all have any topics y'all are wanting to talk about here? Um, I was gonna make. I've been doing those top 5 videos because the news has been so slow. Yeah, like hence the live show. But since the news has been so slow, I've been doing like those top 5 this coming out. It's very straight talking. Okay. It's very straight talking and swearing with lots of alcohol. Live stream to forces every Friday with ex service boys joining in front in front around the world. So I'm thinking in from around the world. Well, if you know of that streaming platform, let's see where it says live stream to Forces every Friday. So I'm not sure if Forces is a platform, but if you are a former or current military serviceman or boy, service boys, then go check out Paris in the Philippines. It sounds like he has a pretty cool little channel going on with lots of swearing, straight talk, and alcohol in the Philippines. So I'm sure he walks around and sees some Filipino ladies. Maybe that's part of the joy of the Philippines. I was saying so on those top 5 videos. I know a lot of people are like, really, another top 5 video? But I was gonna make one. I've made one about Sony. Like, what are the 5 most likely Sony cameras gonna be coming, in 2022? And then I made what are the top 5 Canon cameras most likely coming in 2022? And then, of course, following there, it seems like that the Nikon would be the obvious conclusion and keep going. But I don't know much about Nikon. I don't even know what 5 cameras are possibly coming in the future. So if you're a Nikon person, maybe let me know that. Okay, Paris said strange Sony EV10 and 6400 got animal eye autofocus, but not the A7S3. Yeah, I'm angry about that actually. That is so they got it in video. I'm assuming because I picked up on the tail end of this from David Osler from Australia. Uh, okay, so he says nothing on YouTube. He streams direct to London Ministry of Defense, and then they stream it out around the world. Well, that is super cool, man. Very cool. So, okay, I don't understand. I heard some people saying something about the animal IAF. Um, is the A7S3 not going to get it, period? Or they're just saying that basically the EV10 got it first? I mean, they're so old of cameras. Not old, but like 6400 is old, and the EV10 is. Did anybody buy that? I mean, why? I'm disappointed because obviously they held back the A7 IV. That's apparent at this point. They really held it back, especially in the video features, because of the A7S3. I was hoping they wouldn't do that. I know a lot of people are saying, well, they didn't want to step on the toes, and I get it, but I'm like, step on my toes and keep innovating, and then make the A7S4 that much better because you made the A7 IV better. But personally, I do not like the philosophy of always. I know you have to do it to a degree, you have to segment stuff out, but I don't like the philosophy of not pushing the envelope. Uh, I don't like that philosophy as much, and I think that Sony seemed like they were really the big innovators in the industry, and then now it seems like they're kind of pulling Canon and they're crippling ththings. So I think they've borrowed the cripple hammer from Canon. So if they're going to cripple the video in the A7 IV, then I do not know why you would not bring that animal eye autofocus to the A7S III and the FX3 as far as that's concerned, because they're the same camera internally. Does anybody have... Well, the EV10 is the best-selling camera in Asia in time for Christmas. Man, I did not know this. Maybe it's because I wasn't interested in the EV10. That's my small egotistical bubble over here. So apparently the Sony EV10, which was their APS-C, okay, isn't a big seller in Asia. Huh. Interesting. It's a big seller here, apparently. I mean, I feel like everybody talks about it in the United States a lot, and it's hard to find. There's usually a big wait. And Asia, they're probably getting it more ready for the New Year's than just Christmas, I would assume. But okay, if that's the case, and they are just trying to get it out to Asia, and EV10 is like kind of like the big seller, and then maybe they have enough of them to actually go around. And I guess it kind of makes sense. But as far as, I don't know, I hope that they at least bring it to the A7S III, because if it's not here, by next summer or whatever, I'll be like, well, that doesn't seem like something you should keep away from your obviously video-centric camera. Don't keep away a video feature that is obviously desirable to be able to have animal eye autofocus in video. So that's how I feel about it. Out of YouTube, like, do y'all think that that is actually going to be coming to the A7S III and it's just been delayed, or do you think that maybe it's not going to come at all? I guess we'll have to see. Let's see if there's any more news to go over. If not, we can keep chatting for a bit, and then I'll just give up on the news here. Okay, yeah, so not in the US. The rest of the world already has the A7 IV. Yeah, it's saying the A7 IV is on Sony Alpha Rumors. It's going to be starting shipping in December 23rd. So, yay! That's pretty good. I know a lot of people are happy about that. I was wondering, what photo editing software do you guys use? Because I personally, they're talking about Topaz here. I don't use them. I usually was using Lightroom. Strangely, even though photography is not a very big here in United Arab Emirates, that's what UAE, we get all the kit weeks after release. That is interesting. Why would that be the case? Is it just because there isn't much of a demand that they're actually still in the store? Maybe that's what we're hearing. I don't know. But yeah, I'm curious to hear what photography editing software do y'all use, because I literally just got, that's why I'm testing this webcam. I just got this new MacBook, the M1 Max one. I've been waiting for it for a while. And so I just got it. And I'm kind of thinking, I don't know if I want to keep I'm downloading everything, like all my programs over, and I'm just kind of not sure if I want to bring over Lightroom and start with the whole Adobe products anymore. Super rich people, yeah, very very rich people in Dubai for sure. That's no doubt about that. Ooh, I think we got somebody else in the chat. Maybe somebody, possibly, or no, you just you just liked my video. Either way, I'm appreciative. Oh, we got somebody else watching. Introduce yourself. So, what was I about to say? Yeah, so Lightroom, Adobe, and all that kind of stuff. Do y'all all use like Adobe Lightroom and Photoshop for editing your pictures, or Premiere Pro for video? Because I got rid of I stopped doing Premiere Pro for video because I was doing more one man stuff. I already had a Mac, so I just decided to go Final Cut Pro, and I enjoy it and I like it. But I've kept like the whole suite of things because I was using uh, the ZV-1 for a webcam. I'm actually wanting, if I continue to do these type of things in the future, I'll probably be hooking up my A7S III for this. I was just testing the webcam here on the Mac. I don't really think. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, I don't know. Well, y'all can tell me if it's really bad. It's not great. Let's just put it that way. But you know, so I was just kind of testing it. But if this actually becomes a thing that I do in the future, then I'll definitely do it. So Paris uses Final Cut for his video editing. Okay. I'm just wondering if I should completely get rid of Photoshop because and I really like it. It's cheating, but I like it. I have Luminar AI and I have the Neo version coming. They're very fun and easy to work with, and they're cheating, but I mean, it's a tool. So if it gives you the look you like, then I don't really think it matters. So that being said, it's like, do I really need to bring over Lightroom? And that's expensive. Once a month, got a 8-month-old. Like, I don't know. I just don't necessarily know if it's necessary. David Osler, David uses a EV10 for his live streams with a 16 millimeter Sigma 1.4. I did not know he got the EV10. That's interesting. I thought he would. I thought he was still using his 6400 or yeah. Didn't he have a 6400? Hello, Mr. Cryer. Hello all. I just got access to Adobe suite of things. I am super beginner with this stuff. I was thrown into having to post all my lectures online over the past year, learning a lot from you. Okay, well, there you go. Adobe suite of things. I used the 6400. Okay. So the Adobe suite is good, but it is very expensive. So if you need what it's offering, then absolutely get it. And I have it currently, and I use Lightroom. Hello, Mr. Cryer. Yes, welcome. Thank you for showing up and for commenting and engaging. It's awesome. If anybody hasn't hit the like button and they want to help get this video out, that would be awesome to do that. So access to Adobe Suites. I'm a super beginner with this stuff. I was thrown having to post all my lectures online. Okay. So, Mr. Cryer, are you like a professor, Mr. Cryer? Then I'm wondering because I know with all the Rona stuff, they had everybody go to online lectures and things like that for schools. Okay. Para's asking if you've done your Animal Eye autofocus update, and if you have for your 6400. Biology professor at a small Central Texas college. Nice, biology. So you know a lot more about probably what's going on with this pandemic than most people, for sure, being a biology major, I would assume, or not major, professor, I would assume. Um, so I'm guessing you're using Premiere Pro to now edit your videos. So Do you have any questions for everybody here? I used to use Premiere Pro. I have not used it in a while. I primarily use Final Cut now. I found Final Cut being a little bit easier for a one man. It's a little faster. I mean, I guess you can be just as fast on anything you work at. So I guess that is what it is on there. I just realized like I'm kind of like off to the side. Well, now I'm using the rule of thirds. It's like, hey, I am on this line. Okay, sorry. It's very, very confusing setup that I have going on here. So, Mr. Cryer, do you have any like questions that you need answered? Since you're new to this, are you having any trouble? Hey, rumor has it. Hey, Matt, just got the M1 Max myself. Had any issues with yours? No, I haven't. Rumor has it. I'm glad you showed up. That's awesome, man. Um, I literally just got this. Was it yesterday or it was either yesterday or the day prior, and the power went out, and so I was not able to even do any updates. It was, yeah, Thursday night. I opened it up and the power went out at my house through some storms, so I was not able to even really get anything going. And then yesterday was watching my son all day, so my wife had to work yesterday, so I was at home with the baby. So literally, this is like the first thing I got. So I've not had any issues yet, but it's been 2.5 days with maybe 5 hours of use at most, and that's just getting my programs over. So, what about yourself? Rumor has it, have you got any? Have you had any problems with it, or are you enjoying it? Okay, he said maybe I'm mainly a mammal and plant geology guy. I just got into cameras and editing clips of my trips outdoors. No questions. I'm just here for the witty comments. Well, I'll try not to disappoint you. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I get so many people talking about. I don't know if y'all watch Fro knows photo. I mean, probably seen Fro knows photo, but a lot of people like, not a lot of people, but especially in the past, like, just sounds like you're copying Frodo's photo. Uh, if it doesn't have a okay, okay, so I need to check that out. I'll check out that update. Update is a few fixes, a few issues. Okay, so rumor has it, it's given me some tips with this Mac. The chief of medicine in the UK is Chris Whitty, so not much to be witty about. Oh, that's witty. That's witty. Um, yeah, so people always talk about like Frono's photo and say, "Oh, you're just copying them," and ejecting my external. Oh, okay, I can see that because one of my external SSDs, rumor has it says that his M1 Max, his external SSDs are not working. I had one of my SSDs that I plugged in, and it didn't exactly like go all the way in the hole. I couldn't fit it in the hole. There's but I just had to change the hole, and the hole's bigger now, so I was able to fit it in the hole. Anyways, but yeah, I don't know if if that's gonna be a long term thing, or if I just have to stretch out the hole. I'm gonna stop it now. So the Frono's photo stuff. I had a lot of people commenting, be like, "You're just copying Frono's photo and everything," and I was like, "I don't have a Fro," but I personally don't think it's that big of a deal, and I'm not necessarily feeling like I was copying him. Maybe y'all can kind of give some pointers in on that. I just enjoyed the format. I felt like there was a lot of like, news channels. You had the Daily Show. You had Stephen Colbert do that for a long time. You have what Trevor Noah, you have John Oliver, you have all those different guys doing all these different types of stuff. Or if you go to talk shows, you have that format with all the different people, the Jimmy Fallons, Jimmy Kimmel, whatever, so on, Conan. So you have a lot of different people doing similar formats. So I just thought of it as a similar format to bring the camera news. And all I saw was him doing it that way. I like making a joke or two. So that's how I felt about it. But if you guys think that I copy him a little bit too much, I'd be interested to hear the other side of the argument. I think I lost people in that whole comment. People are like, this is too much. Unsubscribe. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think so too. When you're doing something like a new show that you're obviously being satirical. So Mr. Cryer said that he's a fan of it. I'm assuming he's talking about Camera Wars. He says you need a persona when you're performing. You come off much less rude than many of his rants, though I appreciate his input. So, talking about Frono's photo, he he seems like he is a very straightforward person. And he is a New Yorker, and as Long Rider can tell you, they're more known for being probably a little bit more blunt than most people in the United States, or Northerners in general, I guess, are considered more blunt. I'm kind of in the middle of the states, so maybe I'm a little bit on the southern side. Um, but I mean, overall, he is like, actually, I talked to him. I did one of his mentorship programs thing, just like an hour long conversation, basically. And instead of like critiquing my photography, I had him talk about my wow. I'm live on camera. Stop. You're, wow, my wife. Don't even want to talk about it. Wow. Uh wow. Okay, sorry. Wow, so distracted now. Um okay, so Paris said your content is fine. Camera conspiracies is also good. I love camera conspiracies. He's really funny. I wonder if he's really a flat earther though, because he kind of seems like he is. Kind of like, what are you talking about? It's funny. Um, he's hilarious. I think he's joking. Um, yeah, but I talked to Frono's photo about, he critiqued my stuff, and he didn't have an issue with me. Like, I was making a joke. I was like, something that is lightly influenced by Frono's photo. And he was like, well, I would say that it's very influenced. I was like, yeah, I was kind of being sarcastic here. But overall, he didn't seem like he was upset by it. He said that he had had a lot of different influences as well. He talked about like John Oliver, John Stewart, and all that. So he didn't really see it as an issue, but I feel like, I guess, more of his fans have seen it as an issue than him. But oh well, I think there's enough room on the internet for two people who talk goofy about cameras. I don't know. Is anybody still here? I mean, they're still here, but we don't have much. Paris. Let's see here. I'm still learning this program. Very, very rare for me to go live, as everybody knows. So, not everybody was here. I was talking earlier about the camera news a little bit. And the camera news here that we were going over was this new sensor from Sony. Has anybody heard about that, or have any input on that, or want to go over it? Paris in the Philippines. Online personas are often completely opposite offline. It's commonly known you have to be at least 20% more. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to tone everything up a little bit because most of the time you have to at least be a little bit more animated. I'm trying to become more natural. Didn't get a notification. Okay. It's talking about didn't get a notification for this video. I think it's because I don't go live very often. I think a lot of people are just literally just seeing it as it comes across. And if you are here and you haven't hit the like button, hit that like button. It might get it out to some more of the people who watch. Well, Mr. Cryer is going off to peel deer heads, taxidermy stuff. That is interesting, my friend. Well, enjoy that. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of the conversation. We appreciated having you here. Uh, yeah, I mean, you kind of have to play things up a little bit, obviously. I mean, I write the jokes and everything as I write them. And that's kind of how I feel like Camera Wars is that type of video that I'm trying to, it's more scripted. He said every man has a hobby. There you go. Merry Christmas. There you go. I think it's so cool to just to see like the way the community grows because I mean I planned on and I'm still working towards it. But when I did YouTube, I took it serious, and I'm doing 2 videos a week for pretty much ever now. And so I planned and I hoped that if I kept up, it would have some success, and so I planned for that. But one thing you just don't necessarily anticipate is even though you think, oh, I'm gonna have this many subscribers if I just keep working at it, you don't realize like just the people you'll start to interact with and have conversations with, and it's fun. Like some of the people just that are here on an often basis or come check in with my videos. It's fun just to have back and forth with people. It's like literally like a community of people, and it's really cool that it's like still baffles my mind sometimes when I'm like, people actually want to watch what I have to say. I think it's pretty cool. It's like you go check your numbers and stuff. It's easy to be like, oh, I got this many, this many, this, and but when you break it down and you're like go granular and you're like, oh, this is a person who decided to watch and like and comment. It's awesome. Very grateful and appreciative to all of you. Really am. Very much so. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Well, I think the conversations are starting to slow down. Maybe I am ranting too much. Are we still here? Did I lose everybody on my rants? I might have lost everybody. But it doesn't look like we're having many more comments come through. So I appreciate everybody. Ooh, here we are. Make sure I have a good thumbnail. Yeah, I think I kind of, with lots of exclamation marks. it's, it's probably true. Probably need to do that a lot more. Just have exclamation mark. Yeah, exclamation marks. Yeah, I probably need to play up that a little bit more. I think some of my more recent thumbnails are looking good. Yeah, rumor has it said, I know the feeling. I sometimes worry videos are boring, but people still subscribe. There you go. Yeah, it like I said, it's incredible to have that, just to think about, oh, somebody decided, hey, I want to hit that button to support you and keep coming back and watching. It's really it's kind of surreal. in a lot of ways. Like I said, I was planning for success or planning to work for success and taking it serious, but you still just don't anticipate how it is actually working. And obviously, I haven't hit a lot of success completely yet, but you know, it's growing, and I'm appreciative of that. Uh, while I have everybody, while I have the group of hearers that's here, what kind of content are you guys looking for more of? Like, if out of the videos you've seen of mine, what kind of interests you the most? I get a lot of flack on the camera battles because some people will be like, "You haven't used that camera. All you're talking about is the specs." Well, whatever. Don't like the video. Don't like the video. But be with the first with the news and you'll fly. Yeah, that is a big thing. I've noticed anytime I can get out in front of anything, it's big. But overall, I've been kind of trying to take the approach that, like I don't know, like just kind of this steady marathon approach, because I know that this is a marathon and not necessarily a sprint. So Mr. Cryer says, do I have a video that walks him, through how to create and edit a short 5 to 7 minute video? Let me see. I really don't know. I can't remember if I've posted anything like that. I've actually been doing this for a bit, but a lot of times I was just kind of figuring myself out here. Hey, I got 1,100 subscribers. That's awesome. I just hit that. Okay. So let's go down here. Editing tutorials. The biggest. Stop. So these are some stuff, Mr. Cryer, that might could help. These are not exactly like a tutorial in a long sense. Like, it's not going to take you, say, here's how to do a 5 to 7 minute video necessarily, and it just kind of depends on the editing program. But these are going to give you some tips, and some of these tips can kind of be used in no matter what you're doing. So, like, definitely the ones that are like 5 tips for editing faster, and this J and L cuts kind of teaches you a cool little technique. If you're not using Final Cut, then the others might not make sense for you. Or if you're not using um, S-Log3, then that's probably not going to matter for you. But maybe these two you can get some value out of. It just might make some stuff a little bit more interesting. Does that help? Is this good content? Get out and show people your local area, and do eat at places, as people love seeing people eat food. Well, obviously, as everybody can see, I love to eat food, so I appreciate that. I definitely need to go out more locally. I guess since I live here, it's kind of like, I don't know. I just don't see the appeal, but I know other people don't live here, so they will see the appeal. As I was talking before, earlier with Long Rider, I initially got started in YouTube. Well, I wanted to make a travel channel because my wife is from Vietnam. We've went back and forth and seen her family many times, but it just was getting harder and harder to go back and forth because of, financially, that's very expensive. You're having to go over there, and if you don't have work over there, then you're just kind of going there and not, just basically spending money, even though it's a cheap location to be in. If you're not working and your money stops. Okay, so rumor has it says, uh, took me a while, but managed better at hiding jump cuts now. So yeah, J and L cuts can really help out with that as well. Yes, it really is that much harder to edit files from. Okay, yes. Is it really that much harder to edit files from a Canon versus Sony? I have experience with my Sony A7 or A6400, but I'm thinking Canon for my next camera because I want better photo camera. Um, uh, ordinary filmmaker at okay, so they're talking to other people here. Ordinary filmmaker wants to go pro, so he literally sleeps with the PC. That's funny. Jump cuts. Yeah. Okay, so it depends on the type of video you're making. I'll say a couple things with cuts. Okay, so usually you don't want to break the flow of motion, or you can, but it. So, for example, if you're panning a camera, let me go over to full screen here for a second. I can switch this. I think. Okay, so y'all are watching me now. Oh, okay. So if you're going to be panning a camera this way and the camera's moving, you don't want the next cut to be going this way. Does that make sense? So if you're panning a shot this way and then you're cutting to the next shot, if it's going this way, it's very jarring. So if you want to keep the flow, so if you're panning one way and then your next cut over, try to keep it at similar speed and be panning that same direction. Or you can go to a still image if you need to, but usually you want to show some movement. So if you do, maybe a panning shot here, maybe another one, then go to a still and things like that. If this is like outside type work, usually it doesn't necessarily apply to in studio work. So that's one little tip. The other thing is learn speed ramping. That usually, if you're quote unquote trying to do like cinematic type stuff, if you're got something going here and then you speed ramp it and then it goes to the next one, maybe look up some videos on doing speed ramps, because those tend to work really well, and it kind of all that stuff kind of helps out. With J and L cuts, what they allow you to do is essentially you take the audio. So just as an example, it's like me talking here and the scene switches, but I keep talking from my old audio. So I don't know if it's makes sense within this setting, but that would be a a L cut, and then the J cut would be opposite, where you would keep hearing, or that would vice versa. It kind of works out different ways. One way is that the audio from your clip keeps going and it changes clips. The other is you have a scene, and from one scene over, your audio starts to pick up from the next scene before you see it. That's kind of an interesting little way. It's very popular in all styles of movies. So it's something that we don't naturally necessarily know, but we pick up on it eventually. So if that makes sense. Okay. That's one thing I'd like to master, jump cuts. Okay. Canon has a much harder processing than Sony. Uh, I'm glad this is being recorded. I can take notes this fast. Great stuff, though. Yeah. So if anybody wants to have more stuff like that on here, I can. I'm not going to pretend like I'm the best at anything. There's the more I learn about camera stuff, the more I know I don't know about camera stuff. As let's say that. So as far as Canon processing, so Para's saying that Canon is much harder to process than Sony. I think it depends. Personally, like usually Canon has larger files. I think that's kind of where you're going at. Canon's mega, they have a lot more information per second or per minute coming in. than a Sony camera does, so you have larger file sizes. So in some ways that makes it harder to process. Now with the R5, most of your 10-bit video is all H.265. So unless you have a camera or a computer that's going to have like a decoder of that, yeah, file size. That's what he's talking about. So unless you have a camera that is going to, or a computer that's going to decode the H.265, which is smaller file sizes, heavier compression, but a better compression. I don't know how it works. It's magic. But those are really hard to edit with on pretty much every computer out there, unless you have like a, I think they call them a decoder, essentially, or transcoder or something like that. The new M1 Max, like the one or Mac, the ones that I'm using right now, they do have decoders, so I can start using H.265 if I'd like. And that was kind of the big thing with the Canon EOS R5, is that your 10-bit video, which is the type of video that most people like to shoot with, especially if you're doing any kind of color editing, that was all in H.265, which made it extremely hard on systems. Okay, so rumor has it has to head out. Okay, so rumor has to head out. His wife is needing him to leave. Actually, guys, I'm not going to be able to talk too much longer. My wife is going to head to work, and I have to take care of the 8-month-old. So I'll just keep talking for maybe like 5 more minutes, and then I have to go. But I appreciate you showing up here. Rumor has it. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And Paris saying you need an ice bath if you're talking the R5. Yes, it does overheat. R5C, on the other hand, that looks like an intriguing camera. But yeah, the R5 is something that the overheating is an issue. But again, it just depends on what you're shooting and how you're shooting. Because I mean, it's 4K is really soft, so I guess you wouldn't really necessarily want to just shoot. If you're shooting 4K, you'd want to HQ. Okay, so Mr. Cryer says he's gone for real now too. Thanks again, everyone. Good day. Good day to you, Mr. Cryer. I hope some of that was able to help out a little bit. But yeah. So yeah, what do you think about the R5C? I think that looks like an interesting camera, Paris. Anybody? Para. Am I saying that right? Para. I think so. Phonics never hooked me. Oh man. R5C will be overpriced, but then it's the cost of the lenses. Yeah. Timeless Truth says thumbs up, dad on duty. A wise man will say there are more thing there are more thing I okay there are more things I don't know. It's the way typos are. My reading's not that great either. Don't know and I do, and the list of things I don't know is getting longer. That's true. I appreciate it. Congrats on your first live stream. Yeah, I've kind of done live streams. Like I said, in the past, I did like a reaction live to like different cameras that were coming out. And I did like 2 or 3 of them. So that was it wasn't exactly a live stream. It was like me just looking at a camera announcement and talking about it. So it was kind of a live stream. But I stopped doing that about 6 months ago because I did it on one of the Apple events. And it was maybe my 3rd or 4th time ever doing it. In the Apple event, like they hit me hard with like a copyright, like not even just like a copyright claim. It was like a copyright warning. And so if I didn't like, if I kept doing stuff like that, essentially, like if you get 3 copyright strikes, so you get a warning and then, 1, 2, 3 strikes. You get 3 strikes, they'll shut down your YouTube channel. And I'm assuming if you have a larger YouTube channel, you could kind of, if you have a larger YouTube channel, I'm sure you could kind of like argue more. But at the time, I was, and even now, I'm not that big enough to really argue anything. So it's like, okay, no more live streaming any events. So I just stopped that. Timeless Truth says great interpretation. Okay. Uh, I must be really bad at reading apparently. I'm saying big words. I can't even read apparently anymore. Number Marine is shutting off. Well, hey everyone, thank you all for being here. Think I've been live. It's funny how time flies. Wow, I've been live for over an hour and a half now. So this is going to go up on online as well. It's going to probably crash my watch time. Long Rider saying peace out. There you go, giving the devil horns. Rock on, Garth. Um, I have to get off here. They say set tubers that they let do the live. They have set tubers that they let do the lives. Oh, okay, that makes sense too. Okay, so yeah, I appreciate all the support and people showing up here. If y'all have enjoyed this type of thing, just let me know. I'll do this type of stuff every so often because this isn't necessarily a live stream channel, but I'd love to do this some more. Hopefully, get a couple more people in here. Hopefully, I may be a better thumbnail with more explanation marks, just to let everybody know. Long Rider, he said that he is down to join me sometime, and he's a big Sony guy. He says his language might get me in trouble, but I'll deal with it. We'll make it happen. It'd be cool to get him and John, and we can do like a live camera battle because John's a big Canon guy and Long Rider's a big Sony guy, so that would be cool. But I'm gonna peace out here because I gotta go, gotta watch my child, uh, and have fun with that. So I appreciate everybody showing up. I appreciate everybody for always showing up and just creating an awesome community. I really am very grateful, and I hope that always comes across. So have a good one. Enjoy y'all's weekend. Enjoy your Saturday, and peace.